What's up, Let's Train? Welcome to another The Pit
and Mo show.
Today we're gonna be talking about UFC Mexico, February 24th in Mexico City. That's the first time UFC is going back to Mexico City since 2019. I'm pretty sure the Mexico fans are pretty excited for that one.
Could be.
Yeah.
It's a good card.
It's a great card, And there's always that altitude effect playing into it. Do you know how high it is over there?
I'm pretty sure it's higher than Denver. I think it's like, mile high, probably what, 6,000 feet?
6,000?
6,200, I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's pretty high.
That's what I'm guesstimating.
Yeah, guesstimate, I like that. All right, guys, the first fight we're gonna talk about on this card is, I think is the opener for the main card. Manuel Torres versus our boy, Chris Duncan. What do you think of that one, Mo?
Ooh, well, I think it's gonna be a tough fight.
Yeah.
Both men come to bang, they come to finish you. But it might come down to fight IQ. But with the fight IQ aspect, I lean towards Chris Duncan.
Yeah.
I think he's a smarter fighter.
Yeah, I agree. Chris, has been implementing all aspects of the game, in his last few fights. We see him in the gym all the time. The kid is always improving, is always trying to get better, looking for answers for every problem that he has inside of the training room. Both phenomenal strikers, though. Very, very sharp. If you look at the records, they're all submissions, they're all finishes. I think Duncan has one loss by, KO, and Torres has 2 losses by submission. Yeah. So they're very, very evenly matched. I think it's gonna come down to, like you said, fight IQ, who is able to implement, the whole MMA game overall.
And also so they're both knockout artists. Who do you think has the faster hands and faster kicks, faster striking?
I think faster, speed by speed, Manuel might be a little faster just because, he sets it up a little bit more. His striking has a little bit more accuracy. Yeah. But when it comes to power, though, I'll go with Chris.
Okay, so that's the next one.
Yeah.
So with power, speed, I got Torres by a little hair.
A little.
Power, I have Chris by a longer hair.
Yes. Chris has that type of power that if he touches you once, it's gonna change the whole, scenario of the fight. Like, you're really gonna have to respect that power, And he has good timing also. So when you have timing plus power, that's a dangerous combination.
Talk about durability. Who has the better chin? Because, if Chris touches that chin,
yeah, it
could be night.
Yeah.
So tell me, who do you have with the...
I think Chris has the better chin because we've seen him get hurt before. When he was fighting the Contender Series, he got hurt badly. He was able to come back and just knock the guy out cold. So I haven't seen that from Torres yet. We haven't seen him get tested, his chin get tested yet. So I'm gonna go with Chris just because we've seen that from him. But his Torres' chin is definitely gonna test in this fight.
Well, I'm gonna call it the wash for the simple fact I've seen Chris get his chin, tested. I've seen him get hurt, seen him been stopped before. But at the same time, I've yet to see Torres get hurt. You see him get stopped, submission-wise. So I think that's a wash because we've seen what Chris can handle, but we've yet to see what Torres can handle. So with that being said, I call that a wash.
Okay. And
then cardio, because both these guys like to bang.
Yeah.
Who's gonna get tired first?
I think that's gonna be a wash, in my opinion. Both guys are very well prepared. I think Torres, it's from Mexico, so he's been training at the high altitude. Chris, in the training room, he's an animal. Doesn't get tired, keeps pushing himself, and he went 2 to 3 weeks earlier to Mexico City to get acclimated to that, high altitude. So I think when it comes to cardio, they're both gonna be there fighting hard for 50 minutes.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think I call it a wash. I think this is gonna be about who lands the first big punch or lands the first big whatever. But who's your pick? Who's your pick?
I'm gonna go with my boy Chris. Chris been showing tremendous improvement in the room. I think the game overall, he has that. He's able to mix it up a little better. We haven't seen Torres grappling. I know he has great wrestling defense. He has some submissions under his belt as well. But we haven't seen him be able to implement that at the highest level. Not that he needed also, he was able to finish everybody by knockout in his UFC appearances. But I think overall, I'm gonna go with my boy Chris. He's ready, he's prepared. and we're gonna get that one.
I'm gonna ride with Chris as well. I think Chris can outstrike him, come the bigger strike. I think Chris can take him down. I think Chris can take him down and then submit him, because we've seen Torres, he has what, 2 losses? His record's 14-2.
Yep.
And those 2 losses come via submission. So
Yeah.
I'm riding with Chris on that.
All right, guys, let us know who you got. We got Chris Duncan, our boy, ATT, representing. Let us know your comments down below. And let's move on to the next fight. All right, next fight we're gonna be touching on is the co-main event. Yair Rodriguez versus Brian Ortega.
This is a rematch.
Yeah.
The first time they fought, T-City suffered a shoulder injury in the 4th minute of the 1st round. But both these guys can fight.
Yeah.
T-City has the submission prowess. Yair is an unpredictable striker.
Yeah.
Fight IQ. Who is a smarter fighter, Thiago? Tell me.
That's a tough one, you know, because they're both somewhat reckless, right? T-City, you know, he has that striking ability that's very unorthodox. You don't expect that from him, but you see him on a southpaw stance being very well disciplined, you know, in his previous fight, and be able to be very effective as a southpaw. Grappling wise, you know, the guy is amazing. Very, very good submission. Yeah, man, he's just, you know, he's all over the place, you know, but everything that he does, it's with a purpose. It works. It might seem like that it's, you know, unorthodox, and it is, you know, but he knows what he's doing, you know, and he has some good submission as well. You know, he was able to beat Hammond with a submission, you know, on his fight. So I'm gonna go fight IQ with Team City on that one.
Yeah, I can see why, but I'm gonna pick Yair for the simple reason that his style he implements.
Yeah.
And he does those spinning kicks, very creative. He just goes for it. Off his back, he's comfortable. He can get back to his feet. His kicks, you can't really catch them, time them, you can't see them.
Yeah.
And he throws them real well. So with that being said, fight IQ, I got Yair. Speed. Who do you have speed-wise?
Definitely Yair. You know, Yair he's a better striker in my opinion, you know, and you can see the way that he sets up those kicks, those punches. He's able to throw a kick and punch right away. The way that he fades, you know, to the side, he's able to strike right away. So I definitely give him the speed advantage.
I think he's faster, quicker, and the better athlete.
Yeah.
So with that, I'm gonna ride with Yair again. Okay, power. Who do you got?
Power, I got Yair also. You know, he's the better striker, you know, so he's able to generate a lot more power with the strikes. You see him drop people with body shots, you know, with elbows, definitely more versatile. And speed, you know, equals power sometimes. And being that fast, you know, that power is gonna be there most of the time. So definitely has the power advantage in my opinion.
I can't say anything to that because Thiago said it all. Durability.
Yeah, they're both Mexican, right? So they're already, you know, top fighters right there, man. I think Brian Ortega, we see him get beat up and keep coming forward. When he fought Volkanovski, he got lit up for like 4 rounds. And then in the 5th round, it's kind of like got a second win. He kind of walked Volkanovski down the last minute. Granted, Volkanovski won the fight, you know, so he's kind of like taking the foot out of the gas a little bit. But even that, it shows, you know, that, all right, you know I can take a beating, but I'm going to keep coming forward regardless of what happens to me. So I'll give that to Tin City for sure.
I give it to Yair because when they fought last, Yair didn't get hurt.
No.
So durability, you know, T-City's body could be falling apart. Who knows how he's training?
Yeah.
Who knows who's in his camp? So suffering an injury like that during a fight could lead me to believe that he's, you know, a tin man in a sense, you know.
But also, he hasn't competed in a while. So he hasn't taken that damage, you know. Yeah, when you train, you take a lot of damage into your body and everything, but if you're not taking that serious damage competing back to back, you know, so he took a long break off. So I think durability is gonna be on his side, especially because of the break, you know, hasn't competed in a while.
All right, so we call that a wash.
Okay.
Wash. Cardio. Who has that Lance Armstrong? Who has that Lance Armstrong, Thiago?
I'm gonna side with Yair. You know, Yair has been training in Mexico City for a while. He got that high altitude. I'm sure Tin City, it's not, an amateur has got there a little early so he can get acclimated. But to be able to throw strikes, at that speed, with that power for 25 minutes, you gotta have a good gas tank. And like you said before, he is the better athlete. So I think stamina, right? Talking about stamina, definitely Yair.
I got Yair too. Kicking like that, it's tiring.
Yeah.
And for him to kick like that in all his fights, spinning and everything and flying and being creative like that on the fly, is very tiring, but yet he can still do it. And with that being said, you know what? I'm rolling with Yair.
All right.
So who do you have? Who you got?
Well, I'm gonna go with the striker. I'm a striker myself, so I think Yair is gonna have the better on this fight, being on his hometown. Ortega hasn't competed in a while, so he's gonna have a little bit of ring rust. Even though I think if you're training hard in the gym, you can kind of bypass the ring rust a little bit. But he's gonna have a lot of things against him. Yair on his hometown, even though he's a Mexican as well, has some Mexican heritage in him. That's Yair what's known for, right? He's proud to be Mexican, and he's gonna be there on his hometown. I think Yair has been more active too, so that's gonna be able to show. I think he's gonna take that one.
I agree with you. I think that Yair, he's gonna be a smarter fighter for this fight coming up. Sometimes T-City tends to fall into the blood and guts aspect of the fight, and he wants to show his toughness.
Yeah.
Well, this is the wrong guy to show your toughness against.
Yeah.
With that being said, I'm picking Yair.
All right, so we both got Yair on that one. Now, the main event, Moreno versus Royval 2. Man, those guys at flyweight, it's just so amazing. It's such an exciting fight to watch. They're just back and forth, nonstop action. Moreno's, both guys are coming off a loss against our boy Pantoja. Pantoja, monstro. So, yeah, man, I think Moreno has more, it's more battle tested. He's been through the 5 round a little bit more. Those guys, you don't have a lot of fighters, at that level in flyweight, so they're all fighting each other, right? You see that over and over again. Like, it's usually rematches.
It's just a rematch, right? So,
yeah, it's a rematch.
So let's say, who do you think learned the lesson? Who has a better fight IQ in this?
That's a tough one, man, because the last time that Moreno lost, you seen huge improvements, right?
Very, very.
Royval, I haven't seen, that much improvement since he lost, he went on a 3-fight, win streak and then lost to the champion. It's always upsetting when you get your title shot, and then you're not able to get it. I know that from personal experience. But, if you're smart, you stay in the gym, you're able to come back even better. I'm really, really excited to see, who's gonna prevail. I think that for me is a wash. I'm excited to see how Moreno is gonna come back after the loss and on how Royval is gonna come back after that loss.
So fight IQ, you got the wash. I'm gonna lean slightly to Moreno. I think his boxing.
I can see that.
I think his boxing is a little cleaner, and I think sometimes Royval tends to be a little wild.
Yeah.
He takes the risks.
Yeah.
But speed, who's faster between the two?
I think Moreno is definitely faster, man. You've seen it in all his fights. His boxing gotten a lot better, in the last few fights. The way that he's able to pop that jab, the way he's able to put his punches together, combinations. And even, when he wants to wrestle, he can wrestle too. So I give the speed advantage to Moreno.
You know what? For me, it's a wash because Royval moves pretty well.
He does.
And yeah, it's, he's fidgety, but I call that a wash because to me they're pretty similar in speed.
Yeah, don't
hang what they're doing
at that weight class, man. It's pretty amazing to watch.
What about power? Who has
power?
Who carries the pop?
That pop. That's a really, really good question because they're very similar when it comes to power. I'm gonna lean towards Moreno just because he's more consistent with striking. He's able to put punches together more. Even though Royval, man, he landed that beautiful knee against Nikolai.
Well, remember, so I feel like not to cut you off, but I feel like it'd be Royval because, okay, the punches got popped, but the knee carries more power.
Yeah.
So what would you rather get hit with? The poppy punches or the flying knee?
Yeah, I definitely would like to not get hit at all. But if I'm gonna get hit, I'll definitely take, a bit more punches than a knee to the face. So yeah, so I think power, I'm gonna go with Moreno just because he's gonna be able to land that power over and over and over.
And I have Royval because I feel like the power he's gonna land is more unpredictable. So durability, because we talk about power and he's gonna land what? Who is more durable, Tiago? Tell me.
That's a tough one, man, because we've seen, Moreno go through some wars, losing a round and come back to win a round right away. I think Moreno has the durability. He's battle tested. He's been blooded up in all his fights, and he's always able to find a way to win, unless he's fighting Pantoja.
Yeah. I call it the wash because
Yeah.
Moreno's been through battles, and he's shown that he's very durable. But at the same time, there comes to a point where your durability tends to fade.
It's a little bit.
Not a little bit, sometimes a lot of bit. Sometimes it just takes that one, it could be a jab, it could be, you faint, but I don't know, I'm a side with Royval in this one.
Okay, they're fairly young still, they're still in their early 30s, and I don't think that is gonna take much out of him, but I get your point,
So, okay, well, both of these guys like to go.
Yeah.
And they have that pace. Who has a better cardio?
I think that is a wash, in my opinion, because both guys are able to keep a pretty high pace for 25 minutes. You've seen that on their last fights against Pantoja. Pantoja is the type of guy that he looks tired, but he keeps going.
Yeah.
He keeps going, and you can tell by the body language, Moreno was the fresher guy, right? You can tell by the body language, Royval was the fresher guy, but Pantoja is just an animal. He was able to, control them and do what he wanted, whatever. I think that one is gonna be a wash.
You know what? I agree with you. It's a wash. Now, who do you have? Who's your pick?
I'm gonna go Moreno. I like the guy, I like his fighting style. He comes to fight. He's a very exciting fighter, got great hands. He's able to mix that up his wrestling very, very well when he wants. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. I think he's gonna take that. It's not gonna be easy though. It's gonna be a decision, I think.
You know what? I'm picking Moreno too. He was the man until he faced Pantoja, and he's trying to become the man again. And right now he has Royval in his face, trying to stop him from becoming the man. And I think that, he's gonna beat this guy to try to get a chance to fight Pantoja again. So I'm thinking Moreno, a decision.
Yeah. All right, guys, let us know what you think about our picks. Leave your comment below, and we'll see you guys next time.